Hello, I'm Barbara Berlin. We should all be concerned about becoming victims of crime or scams, but why are senior citizens particularly vulnerable and what protections are available? We'll explore the issues and answers next on Perspective. Welcome to Perspective. In this information age, it seems we often lack all of the information necessary to keep ourselves safe. That's particularly important for senior citizens, as they, too often, are the targeted victims of crime, fraud, and scams. Whether you're a senior, family member, or friend of an aging citizen, there's plenty to learn from my guest this week. Randy Davis is the Director of Triad and Citizen Outreach in the Office of Attorney General Jerry Kilgore. Brie Branch is a deputy in the Chesterfield Sheriff's Office and works with Chesterfield Triad. And Diane Peterson is a senior advocate for Chesterfield County and a member of the Chesterfield Triad SALT Council. Welcome to all of you. Lots of titles here, but lots of important information I know you're going to share with us. Let's begin with having you tell us, Randy, what is Triad?
Barbara, thank you so much for having us on the program today.
Sure.
Triad is not an acronym. The letters don't stand for anything. It involves three different groups: police, seniors, and sheriffs. I get a chance to travel across the state and talk with many different groups, and the first thing I ask people to do is raise their hand if they know what Triad is. And there may be one or two or three. Fortunately, it's getting to be more people who know what Triad is, but most people don't know. Then I ask people, if you are either a senior citizen now or if you hope to be one someday, raise your hand. Well, the whole room goes up, hopefully. There may be a few of them. You can tell who's actually listening to your presentation or not that way. But Triad has been in operation since 1995 in Virginia. It gets seniors and law enforcement officials together. The goals of Triad are, first of all, to inform senior citizens about crimes and scams and frauds so that they can know what to do to protect themselves from becoming a victim. Secondly, to tell seniors that they should not fear unwarranted crime. A lot of seniors stay inside today because they read the newspapers and television and see all the crime stories. They're just afraid to go outside, so we let them know what steps they can take to avoid becoming victimized so they feel more free to become a part of the community. And thirdly, the goal of Triad is to enhance the lives of senior citizens because there's so much information out there, ways that they can have a better life, be more fulfilling, some health issues and safety issues, so that they do feel like becoming more a part of the community. In Virginia today, we have 158 localities that have signed Triad agreements. These are towns, cities, and counties. And we're fortunate here in the central Virginia area to have a couple of very active Triad groups. One's in Henrico County, where I'm from, and also here in Chesterfield County. The Chesterfield Triad is very active, and we're fortunate to have Deputy Brie Branch here today to tell us more about that.
Yeah, Brie, tell us about your involvement from the Sheriff's Office side of this.
Well, my involvement includes producing programs for the seniors to make them aware of the crime issues that are out there today and to teach them steps to take to remain safe. And we also have a SALT Council with each Triad group, and the SALT Council is seniors and law enforcement together. And what it does is it provides an avenue for the community to come and to discuss the issues that they're having, and we work together to find solutions to these problems. And we also can put them in touch with other agencies and organizations that can help.
So you do a lot of work with Diane, I would guess, at the same time. And what is your role as a senior advocate?
Well, I started in May of last year. It was a new position with the county, and it came about through the Committee on the Future, which started a study of the aging population in Chesterfield in the year 2000, and then they came out with their report and recommendations in January of last year. And foremost of their recommendations was that the county have a senior advocate position within the county government to help to deal with the increasing aging population in Chesterfield. It's a leadership and guidance position helping the county to deal with the increasing aging population.
So, Randy, you, with Triad, then you travel across the state. And do you help localities such as Chesterfield then set up this program?
We do. In Virginia, the Triad partnerships are coordinated in the office of Attorney General Jerry Kilgore. He's my boss, and he travels around the state with me and attends conferences and the crime prevention seminars and signings of new triads and some of their activities that they have around the state. So we do get to see people all over the state. It's very important to be out there and to see what's going on and to support those triads that currently exist and to find new triad partnerships in areas where they don't exist.
Well, one of the areas that you focus on, of course, is crime, fraud, scams against seniors. Can you give us some examples of what's out there? And do you really think it is a problem in this state?
It's, generally speaking, it's not a big problem. Surveys show that citizens 65 and older are significantly less affected by crime than younger adults. However, many seniors are not willing to admit that they have been victims of fraud. They have a sense of shame, or they don't want to let their families know that they have been taken advantage of. So that is a major problem, to where we don't actually have correct numbers because people aren't admitting that they have been victims. The seniors are most likely to be victims of mugging, purse snatching, and kinds of fraud, telemarketing fraud, identity theft, situations like that.
And telemarketing, is that the biggest problem? That's what I associate a lot of times with seniors, because we hear about them being contacted.
It's one of the bigger problems. Of course, being able to put your name on the do not call list now has been cutting down on a lot of folks who've been getting telemarketing calls across the country. But when we talk about seniors, we're often talking about people who may be alone. They may, as I said, stay at home all day and be afraid to go outside. One of the things that they will do, though, is they will talk on the telephone. A lot of times they're lonely. The senior generation grew up being polite. One of the things Attorney General Kilgore says when he's out on the trail of triads talking with folks is that you have my permission to be rude if you want to. You can hang up on somebody who calls and tries to sell you something, or some stranger who calls. It's not a bad thing to do that. You don't have to answer the door if you don't want to. If there's somebody there you don't know, hopefully you have a peephole or some way you can see somebody out there. And if you don't know that person, you have no responsibility to open the door, because once you open the door, that's sometimes an invitation to trouble. And finally, people get mail offers, and seniors like to get mail. They like to read every word of them because they have extra time. And sometimes they'll want to respond to those offers in the mail. So they are more vulnerable. They're twice as vulnerable, as a matter of fact, than the regular population to fall victim to frauds and scams in the country. The senior population is growing by leaps and bounds. You may know the so-called boomer generation from after World War II is now turning into seniors. They turned 55 in the year 2000. Coming up in the year 2010, they'll turn 65, the oldest of that generation. They're drawing Social Security. There are huge numbers. There's more than 1 million people in Virginia right now who are over the age of 60. The fastest growing population in the state. The fastest growing percent of that population are people over 85 years of age. So it's a huge number of people who are growing in Virginia, and they need services, they need help. Unfortunately, some of the people who are looking at this growing population are also criminals, and they see victims when they see this huge population of seniors. Seniors, as I said, don't want to be rude to these people, so they will oftentimes respond to their actions that they try when they try frauds and scams. A lot of times seniors have nest eggs. They have access to cash more than other populations would. Seniors are oftentimes alone if one of their spouses has died, so they don't have somebody else they can talk these things over with. They are often at home because they may not have a job, they may be retired. So criminals look at them as a prime suspect for victimization, and that's why Triad is there to try to help them to prevent becoming a victim of a crime.
Mm-hmm. Is there also some advice you could give to maybe family members or friends who might check on a senior periodically to make sure that they know what to look for, that something isn't going on?
If you go to visit the senior and you notice piles of mail on the table, and along with the mail are little trinkets and different things that didn't used to be there before. A lot of times, criminals will try to draw the seniors in by offering them gifts. And they will, give a certain percentage to this, and we'll send you this fabulous gift. Well, the gift is not even close to being worth what they have paid. But yet, you'll notice a lot of little trinkets and a lot of mail stacking up, and a lot more phone calls. The volume of phone calls will increase. They might be a little bit withdrawn from you because they're so used to talking with these people, and they've kind of gotten the sense that maybe they are being taken advantage of, and they don't want to admit it, but they can't seem to help themselves when the phone rings. They want to pick it up. They want to answer it. They want to talk to who's calling. They're lonely, but they don't want anybody to know. So that's something to look for if they withdraw. If you notice a lot of mail, if you notice a lot of trinkets, those are some indicators that people need to be aware of when they're visiting their loved ones.
We want to take a moment and put your website address up on the screen, as well as an email address, and people can contact you. And we're going to bring this back up a little bit later in the program. But tell us what people can find at your website.
There are a lot of resources for senior citizens on our website. We have a weekly newsletter that we email out to anybody who wants it free of charge. Just send me your email address to that email address that's on the screen, and we will put you on our list and send it out every week. There's a Senior Citizens Resource Manual that is available online. You can read it, you can download it, you can ask us for a printed copy. There's a lot of other information that we feel is pretty much key to sharing with seniors across the state and making sure that they all know the current information. Back in the late 80s, in the law enforcement community, there was a concept called community policing. Started out with neighborhood watches, and law enforcement finally realized they could not do it all alone. They needed help from the community in helping them to know how to protect themselves. So it was in St. Martin's Parish, Louisiana in 1989 that the first Triad formed. It was 3 groups again, that's why the name Triad. The International Association of Chiefs of Police, the National Sheriff's Association, and AARP all got together and started the first Triad. That has expanded now to 47 states across the country, to England, to Canada. They're interested in it in Australia. And it was in 1995, as I mentioned a moment ago, when then Attorney General Jim Gilmore traveled to Texas and attended a crime prevention conference where he first heard about the Triad concept. He thought it should be in Virginia, so he brought it back, and in the Office of Attorney General, he set up a special division to deal with Triad and to get them started across the state. After him, Attorney General Mark Earley continued to work with them, and then now Jerry Kilgore, of course, has continued to keep the Triad concept strong within the Attorney General's office. And as I mentioned, we have 158 localities that are now having triads in their localities.
While we're talking about computers, and we can put your website back up on the screen only because it's rather long, and we want to give people a chance to write it down. It is www.vaag, which stands for Virginia Attorney General, .com/protecting/triad, T-R-I-A-D. And while we're talking about computers, I'm interested that with this computer age that we've now entered, and I guess some seniors are also getting involved with computers, has that opened up a whole new world, though, of possible problems that they face?
Yes, it has. Every 79 seconds, someone steals someone's identity, opens an account, and goes on a shopping spree, pretty much. Most seniors do not have access to computers. They don't have them, they don't want them, but if they do need them, they're available at the library, which also helps. It helps if you do not give out any personal information on the internet. If you don't answer all these little surveys and the pop-ups that pop up and give them all of your information, you need to keep that information secure. You need to keep your Social Security number safe, your date of birth. If you're putting your name on anything, use your initials. Do not use your full name. Do not let anyone know that you live alone. There's certain information that you need to keep safe. And with the internet, it's going out and it's going everywhere. That's why it's nationwide, because anyone can access your information from any location.
Of course, that's good advice at any age, really. You don't have to be a senior to pay heed to that. Diane, give us a little more information about the programs that you're involved in. Something with police safety or citizen
Oh, the
safety?
Citizens Academy. This is through the police department. And they have 2 sessions, one in the spring and one in the fall. And the spring session is going to start March the 11th. It's at the Clover Hill Police Support Facility on Hicks Road in Chesterfield. And it will be from 9 to 12 for 10 consecutive weeks. And what it does, it gives participants an opportunity to learn about the police department, their procedures and their practices, enhance communication between the police department and the community, and also gives them an opportunity to volunteer with the police department. And they'll learn about disaster preparedness, Triad, and how it works for seniors. And they can become involved in the Chesterfield Triad, which we hope that folks will do. They'll also learn about personal safety for seniors, how they can volunteer, and those volunteer activities with the police department can include assisting with National Night Out, helping with exhibits and displays, and also doing role play at the police academy. So we're hoping that folks will be interested in participating in the Citizens Academy and then also joining Triad.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other programs that you have underway. What is File for Life?
File for Life has been a very popular program for local triads to get involved with. What you get is a plastic envelope that inside it is a card that lists all of your medications, all of your personal medical information, if you're diabetic and so forth, that is important for those in the rescue community who may come to your house to know. You may be unconscious. Even if you're not, your husband or your wife may not know what particular medications you're on right now. So if you get this File of Life and fill it out in pencil, because it changes, and then it has a magnet on the back of it, you put it on your refrigerator. There's a little sticker that goes on your front door or your front window, so that if for some reason you cannot respond to medical authorities if they're called to your residence, then they see the File of Life sticker, they know to go to the refrigerator. As a matter of fact, even if you don't have a sticker on your front door, now paramedics know to look on the refrigerator and see if that packet is there. They can take it off and read the information, and it has been a lifesaver across the state and the nation. Now, triads locally have a lot of projects that they're involved with, and they have fundraisers, they have grant money. One of the things they do is they purchase these File of Life packets, and they give them away for free to their seniors and tell them how to use it. They also call them at least once a year and say, have you changed your medication? If you have you changed the information on your File of Life card? This also helps them stay in touch with the seniors in the community and make sure that they're doing okay.
What about Project Lifesaver? Is that similar? You have that underway in Chesterfield?
Well, it's just getting started,
Okay.
and that is with the police department. I believe the deputies from the sheriff's office are going to be participating in this also. But this is for folks who are suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia-related diseases, and who wander, or the possibility of wandering, and they would wear a bracelet on their arm, and it has a transmitter connected with the bracelet. So if they do wander off, they can be found, studies have shown, within 20 to 30 minutes of wandering off. So it's a wonderful, wonderful device. And like I said, the program's just getting started here in Chesterfield, and the bracelet does have a battery, which does need to be changed once a month. And this is where the police department and the sheriff's office are working together, where the officers and the deputies will be going out to the homes to change the batteries.
You know, Barbara, oftentimes police and sheriff's offices don't have enough money to buy something like the Project Lifesaver. It costs about $5,000 or $6,000. A local triad will use some grant money they get. They'll do some fundraising. They will buy the Project Lifesaver and give it to their local sheriff's or police department. So it's another way where they can make sure that the safety of the seniors especially is protected.
And the police department does not want to charge families for these transmitter bracelets, and the batteries are $10 a month. So as Randy mentioned, our local triad did apply for a grant, which was approved, and through that grant money, they were able to buy the bracelets and have money for the batteries, so folks won't be charged.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And you also have the emergency beacon, and if it's the same thing I'm thinking of, is it a light bulb? And that if you flash your light, then it starts to flash?
Yes, you
when
install the
rescue
light
squad
bulb.
might be coming?
You install the light bulb right there at your front door. It's your front door light. And if you have any problems or you need to call 911, you can run over and you can flip the switch up, down, flip it up again, and the light will start flashing. And that's an indicator to let when the rescue squad is on their way, they can find you faster. They see the flashing light, they know exactly where to go. And we have those for free as well. We give them to anyone who requests it. We'll bring it out and install it for them.
We were talking about this emergency beacon at one of the places where we were giving a presentation one day, and an older lady in the back of the room raised her hand. She said, "Oh, and they're also great for the pizza delivery man. Flip it on, and he can find your house right away." They said, "Don't use them for the pizza delivery man."
They are a great idea, though, and actually I did a story on those. I went to Northern Virginia a few years back and did a story on whoever was distributing them. And I thought it would be a great idea for maybe sports organizations, for kids groups, when they're looking for a fundraiser to sell them, because I think it's something that really everybody can use. What are some of the other programs that you're really trying to get underway across the state?
Well, that's the great thing about Triad, is that it is a community-based organization. They may need Project Lifesaver in Fairfax County. They may not need it out in Bath County. Each locality, each community gets together on a monthly basis at these SALT meetings. They meet with their local law enforcement, who tells them what frauds or scams may be going on in their area. And then the seniors in that particular triad respond to that by deciding what to do. They may want to print brochures and hand them out to seniors. They may want to make phone calls. They may want to buy emergency beacons, whatever is needed in that area. So we don't tell the local triads what you need to do in your area. We tell them to get together, consult with police and sheriff's offices on a regular basis, and find out what you really need, and then they respond to that. But those are a couple of the most important things.
How do you operate in Chesterfield? Now, do you have, like, monthly meetings or weekly meetings and conferences, that type of thing, to help people?
We have a meeting the third Thursday of every month with our SALT Council and our Programs Committee. Our major event is Senior Day, and that is the first Wednesday of every May. This year it will be May 5th, and tentatively scheduled for the fairgrounds. We're starting to outgrow it. We've had over 1,000 seniors participate last year. And we have, our theme for Senior Day is SAIL, Safe, Active, Independent Living. So each year we have a sail-oriented theme. Last year it was Ships Ahoy. This year it's Voyage to Discovery. So it's an informational day. We have vendors come, and they all offer some sort of senior resource, so the seniors can walk around and see the different options that are available to them. We also have entertainment, and we provide free food and door prizes and things of that nature. And this year we're actually going to be doing small crime prevention skits to get the information out. We figured we've got everybody together, we might as well get that information out to them. So it's a fun, it's just a fun day with a lot of information, and it's a good time. It's a chance for seniors to get out and be with other seniors and enjoy themselves.
Diane, do you depend, we just have a few minutes left, and I'm curious, do you depend a lot on volunteers to get the job done here, get the word out?
We do, and we're always looking for more volunteers, too. That's a big thing. We would like to expand our membership in Triad, so if anyone's interested in being a member of the Chesterfield Triad, they need to contact us, because we would love to have them. And there are a lot of different ways that volunteers can assist Chesterfield Triad. The more people we have, the more that we can do and get the word out and let people know what's available, and ways to reduce crime and help people to feel more safe in their communities.
Okay, and we just put your phone number up if somebody wants to get in touch
I think
with
the
you.
same could be said for any triad across the state, or anybody who may be watching this program. If you would like to find out more about a triad, contact our office through our website and our email address, or contact your local sheriff's office or police office and say, do you have a triad? When does it meet? Where does it meet? And say, I'd like to show up and see what it's all about. No charge at all.
That is the email address, once again, up on the screen, as well as the website. And the email address, if people miss some of these phone numbers we've been putting up, they can contact you.
Just send us an email and we'll get the information to them directly.
What do you think so far, as long as you've been involved with it? Have you really seen that these programs really do make a difference?
They have made a difference. I mean, the stories that we hear by going around the state and that are included in our newsletter of lives being saved, of people saving from their life savings. I mean, oftentimes if they're frauded or scammed, they'll give up their life savings, and it's such a sad thing to see. But as Brie was mentioning earlier, a lot of times seniors don't even want to report that they've been scammed. Perhaps they might think it would be an indication that they need to be put into a nursing home, so they don't want to tell anybody about it. But what you have to do is tell your local police, your sheriff's office, when you have been scammed, or if you hear about somebody trying to perpetrate a fraud on you, so that they can spread the information, and then your neighbors and your friends won't be scammed by those people. They rely on you keeping it a secret to help their frauds and scams to work.
Wow, so lots of good information, and of course we appreciate all of you coming by and talking to us. Brie Branch, Diane Peterson, and Randy Davis.
Thank you.
Good luck, and come back and see us again.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Barbara Berlin. I'll be back next week with another perspective.